Welcome back to the Cognac, Tequila, and the Girl Show. It's time to hang out with Rob, Mike, and Dunya. Whatever you don't want to say, they will with no chaser. Take a shot and let's have a drink. Is hashtag squad goals still a thing? Because they are. Let's go.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back to CTG, Cognac, Tequila, and the Girl. We're back for another thrilling episode, and we're glad you joined us. We are on episode 226, and we are doing a What's Poppin' on Screen episode, where we talk about TV shows, movies, things, etc. that we've partaken in or partook in. And if you guys are watching, you'll notice that we are dressed in Hawaiian theme because I'm going on vacation with my family that I've brought up 100,000,001 times.
And we're not.
And they're not. So giving them a little bit of luau vibes here. I like the theme. Tequila came up with it. And we look cute. Just saying.
I got my Dr. Sebi outfit on.
Doctor who?
Sebi.
Who's that?
Dr. Sebi, he was like 80-year-old man, cured cancer, cured HIV, and then the government killed him.
Oh, wow.
And then they killed Nipsey because Nipsey was going to do a story about his life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
That's
sorry.
the Sea Moss guy. Sea Moss. Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, and I thought it was going to be some old, like, TV show, like Hawaii Five-0 or something. Something joyful. Okay.
No, Dr. Sebi, he was like 80 years old. He was jumping on tables, doing cartwheels. He was like physically fit, and he got documented proof that he cured cancer and AIDS. And yeah, with his holistic herbal medicine or whatever.
Anybody got the notes?
His kids, they still sell his recipes, like for the sea moss and all that. You can get his stuff still. They bumped him off. They locked him up for something and he died in jail.
Well, at 80, I'm sure. Without his supplements.
Mm-hmm. Hit that jailhouse food and it's around.
That is also how I would die. Just so you know. At a spry young 42, jailhouse food would probably do it to me.
I don't know how he died in there, but yeah. The body probably went in shock.
Yeah,
or lack of something.
as mine would. Well, rest in peace, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for your contributions prior to that conspiracy theory. Anywho, so normally we talk about how our week was. Because I'm leaving, we are double recording. So now I'm going to ask Tequila, how was your day?
My day
Night
was
and day, I guess.
in Denver.
In Denver?
Yeah. Because I went to work this morning.
Ew.
Yeah. So,
Did you get overtime for that?
no. On Saturday.
That's a shame. I don't either. I just wanted to say it was a shame for all of us. Alright, well, was it a good work day? I guess.
It's Saturday.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Cognac, how was your day?
My day.
Excuse me. Hi, hello.
I sound like
Our leader of our health department.
Kennedy. Sorry. Anyways, no, my day was good. I finally got my phone trade and so got the credit and all that.
Praise the Lord when you do it, when you will.
No, but
Tired of talking about that damn phone.
Right. So I got a new phone after 5 years.
Yay!
Crazy. How was your week? Birthday. Sorry.
My day was good. Let me talk about my night. I had a wonderful night thanks to these gentlemen here and Gangsta and my Harper. And then she left and it bawled my eyes out. My eyes are still swollen, I think. And she's like, it's okay, Auntie. And I said, these are happy tears. I'm so happy for you. But anyways, my day was good. I spent the day doing self-care, taking care of me before I get on this journey. And Harper made it safely to my parents' house. Yay for that. She said there was a crying baby on the plane, and it did not shut up, and the baby kept picking her mama's seat. For real, Auntie. That's her. She says, for real.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's Southwest for you.
Nah, that is. Southwest is a good airline.
Okay.
I need to ask them how that went because they don't do the groups no more. They just bought their seats or what?
I didn't know that.
You'd probably need to ask my father.
They just started this month.
Well, I think those were bought last
Right.
month.
No.
Yeah, for sure, because I think the ticket thing said May.
Well, I know now you have to like pay for baggage or whatever on there.
They didn't.
No,
have
no.
that.
But I didn't know.
You
I
have
didn't
to-
know they got rid of the group.
You didn't have to pay for it. You said it was one carry on. It's the
Oh no, I meant like a check-in.
A check-in one. They used to be free.
They used to be Southwest.
I saw that.
free,
pop up on the news.
oh, I never checked stuff on, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't travel with me. I'm checking.
I don't got time for that.
Well,
shit.
whatever.
Unless you can get somebody to go get it.
I think
I try to get in and straight out. When I get off the plane, I try to get out the airport.
That's
I don't
the
want
thing.
to go down and that shit there. If I got to do it, it pisses me the fuck off. I'm mad.
The last time I like flew Southwest, you know, it was just to go to Dallas or whatever, and I just had to carry on. But
Well, that's a 30-minute flight.
I was about to say, but also like that being said, usually between us we have one kind of big one. You know?
I got a big one by myself right now.
Right. Well, yeah. But,
And it's full.
right.
Got cocktails and everything else in
Right.
that bag.
Right.
Some for my mama. Anyways, yeah, let's get into our first segment.
What the fuck with the girl?
My what the fuck this week is, well, yeah, I guess this week. My what the fuck this week is, I'm kind of annoyed with people that don't listen. You know, you tell people something 100 million one times. Me and my mom were just talking all this, and it's like you tell them things, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it," and then they don't fucking do it. And then when you get an attitude about it, then they've got a problem. You should have just told me when you were already told. And it's usually a certain demographic of people that ain't fucking listening. So my what the fuck is for them. Just do it when they say to do it. And then you won't forget. Thank you.
What the fuck with the girl? Joking with Cognac.
Okay.
What's 6 inches wide or 6 inches long, 2 inches wide that drive women crazy? $100 bill.
Yeah, it does. And a 6-inch wide stack of them is even better. Yeah.
Drive some niggas crazy.
Yeah, for real. Oh, real. Really. Yeah. Yeah. But really, that should have been meant for real. For real.
What?
Given our Twitter breakup right now between billionaires. Anyhow. So, what's everybody been watching? I'm trying not to make Centers my whole personality.
Well, that was kind of the base of it, I thought.
So what's popping on the screen?
Yes, what's
What
popping
you
on
been
screen?
watching? What you
Oh,
been
yeah.
watching? I just wanted to make sure that was watched so that we could
Okay.
talk about it.
I watched Country Wayne skits. Country Wayne.
I'm sure Wayne always.
Hmm.
That's like your One Life to Live General Hospital.
Isn't that like that? It's not like
You
that.
said it's like a soap. I mean, it's.
Oh.
It's skits.
And you said it's a new one every day, right?
It's multiple new ones.
Oh.
It's like 4-minute skits. And you have your characters and their storyline, and they post every day.
Like a soap opera.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
You don't watch nothing else but that?
And they kind of straight to the point because they only 3 minutes, 4 minutes at the most. They're not long. Yeah. Very, very genius. I think that's just the genius behind it that got me into it. Because this dude, he's a fucking multi-millionaire off these skits. Well, he do stand-up and stuff now, but it all started from the skits on YouTube. Well, it started on Facebook, and then he started doing them on YouTube.
So how many like shows or stanzas?
A lot. He's been doing it for years.
No, I know how many.
So
lot.
imagine every day for years.
Yeah, a lot.
That's why I said like One Life to Live, General Hospital. How long?
Yeah.
How many episodes are those?
Yeah.
And those come on every single day.
Yeah. So a whole bunch of them.
And his are only 3 minutes.
Yeah.
General Hospital episodes were an hour, right?
Yeah.
Somewhat.
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Some are 30 minutes, some are hours.
Wow.
Soap
I
operas.
haven't watched them since I was a kid.
The only time I ever watched those were when I was overseas and everybody was into it. And when I came back, I was like, "What's gonna happen to Bo? What's gonna happen to Bo?"
Okay, so I watched a show on Netflix called Sirens.
So I don't mean to interrupt you, right? But all of these skits right here,
Mm-hmm.
well, some of them are from yesterday, but all of those, from yesterday and the day,
Oh,
just little skits.
oh.
But they all tie into
Country.
everybody
Country
know
way.
everybody, and
All right.
so like you'll have your skit with your storyline, she'll have others with her storyline. They just all,
Oh, tomorrow. Fair enough.
I'm sorry. I was just trying, because he asked how many.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So I watched a show called Sirens on Netflix, and it's really good. It has Julianne Moore and Kevin Bacon. It's a mini-series.
Oh, that Siren show?
Yes.
With my girl on there from, I got a girl on there from somewhere. Dang. Yeah, from Throne, the Dragons.
Yeah, my girl. Yeah.
The young girl.
Yeah. The Young Prince. You
Yeah.
didn't watch it. I watched it by myself.
I can see, whatchamacallit for.
But it's the young girl from
Dragons.
House of
House of
Dragons. The one
Dragons.
who played the blonde
The fun one, the
queen.
one
Yeah.
who snuck
A little
out
lesbian.
and messed with her uncle and stuff.
And her best friend.
Yeah. that series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good. I don't know. I think it's a very female power type of miniseries, but it's good. And, you don't expect what's going to happen. But it's only 5 episodes, so if you have time to watch it, you should.
Say an hour long.
Yeah, an hour. So.
I'm also watching. I'm still Power and BMF. BMS premiered series 4 last night. So when I got home from here last night, I watched the season premiere of BMF. That's looking pretty good.
Did you sleep? It was late night. Jeez. You had to go to work?
I watched it twice.
Oh, Lord. So you did not sleep.
But I watched it and then I put it back on and went to sleep. But it's pretty good. I'm not gonna get into the details. It's about Big Meech and his brother, Black Mafia family.
Big Meech. That's Rick Ross, right?
No, that's Big Meech.
Hallelujah.
Big Meech is a real person. That
It's not Hallelujah. He says Larry Hoover. Right?
yeah, Larry.
Right?
It's a real person too.
Yeah.
It's
Rick Ross. No names.
Rick Ross steals people's identities. So.
Yeah, we know.
But,
all right. Hey there, Houston entrepreneurs and small business owners. Are you starting a business or already running one, but drowning in paperwork, taxes, or bookkeeping headaches? You're not alone, and we've got some help for you. A friend of ours has launched a full-service business support solution right here in Houston called Samcom. From forming your LLC or corporation to handling your franchise tax filings, sales tax reports, bookkeeping, and even your annual income tax returns, Samcom covers it all, so you can focus on growing your business. What's new in 2025? BOI reporting, a new federal requirement that most businesses aren't even aware of. Mess it up and you could face a $10,000 fine or more. Don't worry, Samcom has you covered. Whether you're a startup, a side hustler, or scaling fast, let them take the stress off your plate. Email to info@samconus.com. That's info@samconus.com, or call 713-534-2175 to get started. That's 713-534-2175 to get started. Don't miss out. Your business deserves better, and let them get you sorted today.
dang. Yeah, it was good. Last night was good, and I watched this movie today called Straw
I'm gonna watch that
with Cookie.
on the plane.
Cookie in it. Cookie Line.
Taraji.
Yeah, Taraji.
He
Yeah.
wants them.
And it's about this person and just the last straw, the straw to break the camel's back. And your straw would probably break before hers break in the movie. But hers do break. But she go through so much shit. Man, the resilience of a human is something else. You watch this movie because she go through it.
Somebody can breathe on me wrong sometimes, and I think that's the straws.
That's a long day.
Yeah. That's I saw it's number one.
I need to finish watching. I think
Number
I'm
one.
nodded off on it, but it was pretty good. Kind of Tubi-ish. She was on the radio yesterday, and they made the movie in 4 days. Well, she did her part in 4 days, so.
And then they spent 4 days to put it together.
Got a pretty decent cast though.
I'll check it out. My mom sent it to me last
It's
week.
a Tyler Perry movie.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it. It comes out.
I guess I do watch more than country. Right?
Oh, look at you go. Just a worldly man.
Watch the NBA finals
Oh,
right now.
I wish I didn't.
Do you know what time they play tomorrow?
Pretty entertaining.
Are they in Oakland, KC still?
Yeah, they still.
Thank
on.
God. That means earlier, right?
I think it's 7. I just looked at
Yeah, I was about to say
7.
that.
Yeah.
So,
No.
Same time.
yeah, but when they go to Indiana, it'll be later.
That's unnecessarily true.
They cater to
No,
the
usually
coast.
in the East Coast, they'd be earlier than that. Usually, if it's.
Oh yeah,
in
you're
the
right.
East
I'm
Coast,
backwards.
Yeah.
I'm backwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the West Coast games that I fucking hate better. Yeah, you're right. My bad.
It's still.
Huh?
That was a good game, man. Man, that was
We
crazy.
talked about it
Yeah,
last night. On
Yeah.
here.
Still crazy.
Have you watched anything besides Facebook videos
Yeah,
on your own?
Those are short.
No.
So, for videos.
You've been watching House of David.
That's true.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it though. House of David, man, that's pretty good.
A game actually come on at 7:30 when they in Indiana.
See? So it's later.
Yeah,
Great. Great.
The other game was at 7:30.
7 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, House of David.
Now, House of David, I'm impressed so far. It's pretty good. Well, I mean, I'm shocked she doesn't like it because it does make more like it's not, your typical, like, haha.
What's haha about the Bible?
That's my point. That's what I'm saying. Like,
What's a typical haha?
Well, because, it's like getting to rough things.
Deep in the stories.
Deep into the stories of that.
Let me tell you why. Because it's giving me, like, Lifetime Bible series. And anybody who knows me, I don't do, like, the whole network. I grew up watching it with my mom, who always like, just try this movie, and it's just the acting is piss poor for me. That's all. So I kind of glance at it. I'm like, oh, I know that story.
I think I started watching that and turned it off. If it started off with David and Goliath, I watched it and turned it off.
I don't know how it started. He started it before I was paying attention. I only watched it like a little bit.
Yeah, I think I watched a little bit of that.
A girl I work with watched it.
Little bitch dude running with the rocks. Got hit with the arrow one time. And did he get hit? Do it start with baby?
Well, the thing is, no, it goes into why he's so good at.
But do it start with that? Do it start with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what.
He's good. He's downed on his other brothers.
Yeah, I know the story.
We all know the story.
Yeah.
Everybody here is very versed in the Bible. He's just asking, does the show start this way because he thinks he started it?
Yeah, I started it and turned it off.
Yeah.
When he got hit with the arrow and just laid there for
Because the acting was so bad? Was that it?
I mean, if you get hit with the arrow,
but I didn't read that.
I think they filmed that one in 2 days.
I didn't read that he got hit with the arrow. So when I seen that he got hit with the arrow, I'm like, oh, they kind of added theatrics to. So I'm just saying.
Well, then again, with the Noah one, what was the name? Russell Brand when he did the Noah one.
First of all, it was Russell Crowe. We were not saying Russell Brand, who's in the middle of a sex investigation right now.
Whatever.
Russell
Crowe, my bad.
Gladiator.
When he did the Noah one, and them trees and shit started talking to him, I was like, what the fuck is this? The never-ending story? All of a sudden, these trees are coming off the ground and rocks and shit.
I didn't even watch that.
Yeah, I did, but but I was like, oh, okay. All right, but they're trying to,
Y'all usually don't get into them Bible stories.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. King of Kings was my shit when I was younger. The actual movie.
Like I never seen the one about Christ. What is it? They made a
Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, Passion of
I didn't watch
Christ.
that.
I never saw it either.
Too much controversy.
Yeah,
I never saw it either. And the funny part is back in the day when I was in Israel, they had bread box and stuff there. This is
What's that?
Right, and they had it, and I was like, damn, y'all got Passion of the Christ here. It was in Hebrew, obviously, but you can rent it. I'm like, who's running that?
Why wouldn't you?
Christian, yeah. I was like, I guess they
There's a lot of
Christians.
Christians.
I mean, just like, yeah. That's why I was like, I was curious, I wanted to sit by the red box to see.
Who's a Christian? Who's not?
No, not like that. No, nothing like that. I was just.
That doesn't make sense. There's a lot of Christians.
I know, in Israel, yeah, that's my point. But they had it in Hebrew, so I'm like, okay. Well,
Christians read Hebrew.
yeah, there are some.
What? That was like the dumbest thing. Are you kidding me?
Aramaic.
You don't even read Hebrew.
I'm joking. I do.
Okay. I mean, not fully. I'm just saying.
I was surprised they just. I don't know. I was like, fucking.
Why don't you just say you were more surprised
I was
because
18.
Mel Gibson hates the Jews?
That's
just
what
say
I'm
that.
saying.
Sometimes just say it with your
That's
chest.
kind of what I was getting.
Mel Gibson was very anti-Semitic, and it was his movie, so he didn't understand why the fuck it was all of Israel. But you know what? There's a lot of anti-Semitic people in Israel.
Yeah.
So it's a whole.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
And I rounded about it for me.
No, I just said what it was.
I know, that's what I'm saying. He rounded about it for me because.
No, you rounded about it. I put it on a point. Yeah. There you go. I don't think I've watched anything else that anybody else is interested in except Real Housewives and stuff, but y'all are into that. The audience probably would be. But, can we talk about Sinners now? Sinners came out finally, guys, on Prime to buy or rent, and if you rent it at this point, that doesn't make sense because it's like $5 more to buy it. If you're gonna rent it, just wait, and if you want a cheaper rental. So thank you to my family for watching it with me last night after we recorded. It's kind of a long. It's really not that long. Is it like a 2? It's a 2-hour movie, but there's so much going on in it that you need to pay attention, so it seems longer. I feel like. I don't know. I haven't Googled how long it is. Tequila will get on it. But I've watched it now. I think a total of 3 times already this
2 hours, 17 minutes.
Oh yeah, about 17 minutes will get you. Yeah. I even was gonna pause it because it was so late and Tequila and Gangsta said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And let me put it back on. Brilliant movie. Spoiler alerts. Oh yeah. I got my notes here. Okay, so this movie starts out. So it's a vampire movie. I was telling my girl who did my lashes today. She was like, "Well, what's it about?" It's about 2 twin brothers that
Smoke and stack.
yeah, smoke and stack. They come back.
What's their last name?
They're cousins.
They never said their last name. I don't remember their last name.
The Stackhouse brothers. That's something twins.
Smoking.
Because everybody know somebody know about the twins. They know about the twins.
I don't know.
Their last name is the twins.
I don't know. Anywho, there's 2 brothers that come back to their hometown in Mississippi after being in Chicago away for a while, and they decide to open up a juke joint for the night with all the money they made in Chicago, and it's the story, and literally the whole movie takes place over one day and night, and it's really good, and it starts out with a message, and it says music basically unites and invites all, and sometimes will invite evil, hence it being a quote-unquote vampire movie. So it takes place in Mississippi in 1932, on October 16th to be specific. I'm curious if that's like an actual day of something happening. I need to Google. Yeah. Well, because it's very specific and they're very detailed on factual things. Why are you hunched over? You need to sit up.
Me?
Or you're going to see
Oh,
the
no.
top of your head.
Sorry, I was listening.
Well,
That's not listening.
yeah, but the listeners are looking at the top of your head.
My bad.
Watchers. And it starts off basically at the end of what happened with Sammy, who they call Preacher Boy, showing up at a church, kind of bloodied and guitar rigged up, and his dad, who's the preacher, is like, "Please just drop the guitar," and I don't want to get too detailed, but and then it backtracks to why he showed up like that, and the whole story behind it. If you can't keep up, there's Stack, he wears the fedora, and then there's Smoke, and he wears the Kango. So Stack's kind of like the wilder twin, and Smoke's kind of more level-headed. They both will rock your shit if need be.
So,
yeah.
can I pause on
Yeah.
that point?
No, everybody can talk. I'm just talking.
Here's something I noticed. Stack
We're
and
still talking about the beginning, though, right?
well, no, you said about the fedora and the suits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I noticed something, and this will go back to the end of the episode, the end of the movie. Sorry. Did you notice that Stack was wearing red, and Smoke was wearing the blue? don't know if it's a intuition because old boy, every time Smoke got mad, he said, "I need a cigarette," and the old boy said, "Got you," and he would give him advice, a cigarette. So it's just my theory.
What does that mean?
I meant like he was wearing red, the other one was wearing blue. Right?
Okay, first of all, it was the same day. They didn't even change, really. So
I know.
smoke.
Red is what?
Well, first
considered
okay
to be.
Okay, so he was wearing maroon. Actually,
okay,
it was maroon.
Okay,
it doesn't even
look
look
was
red.
wearing bluish then.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I just thought it was a little.
Okay. But
one had a better.
Okay, I'm really happy that you feel like you brought this grand idea. But I know, but sit back and chill and talk. Like it's not a debate. We're just talking.
It wasn't debating. I was just saying one was wearing red. The one that. All right, like I said, we'll get back to it after you finish. Go ahead.
Yeah. Everything is detailed on purpose.
Exactly.
But yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But you kept saying they kept wearing blue and red, and it was literally one day. They didn't change.
Well, yeah, but you know. All right.
Okay. Well, all right. Anyways, so they've been gone for 7 years, supposedly, and then came back from Chicago, and as Stack said, Chicago ate shit, but a plantation with taller buildings. So, yeah. That's basically, it's the story of Smokestack and Sammy, who is their little cousin, right? Who's their cousin?
Yeah.
Cousin. Yeah. And they're coming home to open up Club Juke. So, Sammy basically is like, "Dad, I'm going to go hang out with my cousins for the night." And Dad's like, "Please don't do it. It's nothing but the devil." Da, 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 da. And then he's like, "I'm going anyways. I work hard, and that's what I'm going to do." Any other add-ins you guys want to add in on that?
No, I guess Smoke and Stack.
Okay, so who's your favorite twin?
Who?
Yep.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Smoke, man.
Okay. Who's your favorite twin? Tequila.
I don't have a favorite, but I do.
I mean, I just had to pick one.
I think the production of the movie was brilliant. How Michael B. Jordan played two roles,
And you couldn't even really tell.
you couldn't even tell.
Normally you can tell that shit.
They spent a lot of time together, and wasn't a lot of AI involved with the filmograph, from what I heard. But it was some special cameras used, and they recommended that you go to the theaters to watch it because of the cameras that Coogler used and the sound and stuff to make the movie. It was going to give you like almost a THX experience, I guess.
What's the THX?
That's
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Star Wars.
Like
type
sound.
stuff.
Sound.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Got it.
THX, they have a decimal, a bass that's so low
Makes you more
that Dr. Dre asked him could he use it, and they told him no. So he created his own bass line that was damn near identical to theirs, and they sued him for that THX sound. So whenever I saw this movie in THX, it was like boom, something like that. They wouldn't let me use it, so he created his own. That's how dope it is. So if you have a true THX experience, so Coogler, he recommended that you go to the theaters and watch the movie to get the full effect.
I had a dope experience at the theater.
Yeah.
And here.
My thing about the movie is I'm still processing the movie. It was a good movie, a whole lot of symbolism, and I don't play with symbolism, but it was a real, like even what Cognac was saying with the clothes, the blue is close to spirituality, and the red is more into like blood sacrifice and stuff like that. But it was Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I mean, the
I know
little
this.
message is everywhere in that movie.
There's a lot going on in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of stuff I don't play with that's in that movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for obliging me but on the birthday. Sorry. Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I like the music. I love the history behind it. It was so factual. Shout out to Ryan Coogler. What an amazing dude. I didn't know who he was until this movie, but I've watched just like I didn't know he did Creed and
you
Black
did?
Panther. No.
Wow.
No, I'm just trying to see Michael B. Jordan, really.
Yeah.
But this whole, like, the whole movie, even my favorite part of the movie wasn't Michael B. Jordan at all. It was actually Annie, his baby, love of his life.
Yeah.
She was the hero.
Oh, so you like Smoke?
Huh?
You like Smoke? Well, who was your favorite 20? Did you say?
No, I didn't. Ugh. Smoke, yeah. Smoke, I'd say. I like them both. But I'd probably take Stack so he would have stayed away from that white girl. Who wasn't white. I didn't even write her name down. She made me so upset. She played the hell out of that role, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shout out Haley Steinfeld. That's the actress that plays her.
Yeah, she did good.
Yeah.
She was stubborn. That's why I can't say I like Smoke because he just handled business.
Yeah, he's more cool.
Yeah. He like deal with her, I'm gonna deal with her and Stack didn't deal with her and see what happened.
I don't know.
Well,
and Stack's more fun. He's more funny bunny.
Yeah.
Too. Like, I know you picked Smoke as your favorite, but I think you're more of a Stack.
I wouldn't.
Well, yeah, where you're trying to have no, not that part, but just like everything's like, let's have fun, He's like always like, Smoke, you're too uptight, that kind of thing.
But then their experiences, even though they was twins, they went to war together and all that. Their experiences was different.
Yeah.
Because Smoke had to kill his father for beating the shit out of Stack.
Yeah.
So Stack, Smoke had more
adult responsibility.
Yeah, more to carry.
Yeah.
Because Stacks was getting the shit beat out of him. He still forgave his dad and all that kind of shit, I think.
Yeah.
He didn't dislike his dad and nothing like that. But
as he said by the time he woke up, he was dead.
He was being buried.
That's and Smoke too for me. He protects his fucking people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I roll. I'm a protector to my fucking core. It's a gift and a curse. But anyways, so at the beginning of the movie, Smoke goes in town. I have to bring this up because it's one of my favorite scenes and it's one of the funniest. He goes into town to basically commission the grocers there, and they are an Asian family. I think his name was Bo Chow.
Bo Chow.
Bo Chow. Lisa was the daughter, and Grace was the wife.
Yeah.
And a lot of people had a problem because it wasn't like they put Asians in the movie, but they didn't put enough Hispanic people in the movie, and it wasn't inclusive. There were actually Asian people.
Hispanics weren't around
at that town. Yeah, because there were still Indians, and you get to it, you know. But there were actual Asian people there that, serviced both black and white people, and they were just like, whatever, we're making our money, and we aren't racist.
A lot of them came to make railroads and stuff.
Yeah. But Smoke gets in there, gets to town, and he's got all of their hooch from Chicago in the truck, so he pays this little girl to watch his truck, and I thought it was the cutest scene, because he's like, I'm going to pay you this, and she's like, okay. And he goes, no. When we talk about money, you need to negotiate, basically. Negotiate your price.
I'm going to pay you 10 cents.
Yeah, and he's like
50 cents.
Yeah. She's like, well, you said to. Yeah. It was a cute scene. And then he told her basically to honk if anybody, was messing with his stuff. So she honks while he's in the store. He just comes out and he shoots this dude in his ass. And it was really funny. And then the other guy was running. He said this, I wrote it down. Fuck you going, nigga, bet this bullet beat you there. It's like my favorite. Like, I've never and don't want to shoot at anybody, but if I'm ever in that situation, that's literally going to come out of my fucking mouth. It's the best quote ever. Yeah, and then he winds up shooting the other dude in the knees and said, well, I can't just let you go. You met the twins and you fucked with the twin shit. And, But he paid for them to get fixed up and whatever. But I love that scene a lot. Because that still told you smoking no fucking pussy. You may be the chiller one, but he's gonna stand on business. That bullet beats you there. And then, like, history thing, Bo Chow said, I thought y'all were in Chicago working for Capone. And I didn't catch that the first time I watched it. I'm like, oh, they were working for mobsters and they stole from mobsters. So,
but it was they stole from Capone and they stole from the Irish mob.
Yeah.
And both of Capone and Irish mob used to war with each other.
Okay, see, I didn't know that.
So he stole from both of them. Like they started the war with the Irish and the Italians.
Yeah, okay.
Because he stole from both of them.
Oh, and probably plants. Yeah. Okay, see? Didn't even know that about the Irish. I knew they had liquor.
The beer was Irish.
Yeah.
The beer was Irish.
Yeah.
Huh. Smart young man. Started a whole gang war and dipped out.
They said that wind blew you back from Chicago before the transition. So y'all, that wind from Chicago almost blew y'all back in you.
So after, I'm going to put mine out since you didn't even let me finish and you let yours. So after that, Stack is with Preacher Boy, Sammy, and they're driving to go wherever they're going. We don't know that at the time. I've got another quote that I love. So he's basically talking to him about women. And I don't think Sammy, was he a virgin? They didn't say he was a virgin.
No, he was inexperienced.
Yeah. And he said it was, every coos has a button on the top. Not too hard, not too soft.
Not the coops.
Like the ice cream cone. It tastes good, but you don't want to finish it. You don't want it gone too fast. And I was like, oh, okay. I died at that. It was a good description. He said, every coos, why you just want to keep saying every coos has a button on the top.
Yeah.
And you want to touch it not too hard, not too soft, like the ice cream.
Yeah, like
it's ice cream. Yeah. It tastes good.
You want to treat it like you're treating ice cream.
Yes.
So you dig into the ice cream, you make that brain freeze. You just gotta hit it just right.
Yeah.
Can't go hard on the ice cream.
I thought that was a good life lesson.
That was.
For a young man.
Well, I never heard it explained. That's very good.
No, that's what old girl, the other one said at the train station. That white girl. So
no, she said coos.
Yeah, she said.
You put your tongue in my coos.
Coos.
I'm talking about before they got to the train station. Right. So I'm talking about the car ride.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a direct quote that I wrote down. The coos obviously was how they called coochie at that time. Because coos was said maybe 3 or 4 times in the movie. Yeah. Anyway, so they're driving, and that's when Smoke, Stack tells Sammy that Smoke killed their dad, protecting him, or whatever, which I don't know if I caught the first time I watched it. But, and then they're driving through the cotton fields, and Preacher Boy plays a song for Stack, and I think it's called Trouble Is, but his voice is, I just have to say it, and I don't want to sound racist. Black people just got it, the blues. Sorry, you know, as inexperienced as he is, how he sang that was like he was a 90-year-old man in that car, and he's been through it all. Like if you just hear it, and it's, I don't know, I think it's like an ancestral thing. But they arrive at the train station that Cognac really wants to get to early on. I think because his people show up and he feels seen.
Oh. There was a lot of white people. I thought they would seem real out of place. Smoking, not smoking, but stacking Preacher Boy.
Yeah.
Walking through the train station. I'm like, something's been happening here.
Yeah. Well, anywho, they come up to Delta Slim. Shout out to him, another hero. And he is a harmonica. He plays harmonica and piano. And he's basically I don't know, what do they call that when you're playing on the street? Panhandling?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel
Yeah,
like
panhandling, just music.
yeah, you know, playing music for money at the train station. He's super talented. And Stax tried to hire him to play at their juke joint that night.
With
Preacher Boy. Oh yeah, together. He's basically like, nah, I'm gonna play where I always play, because you're just gonna give me $20 tonight. They are giving me $10 every night.
booze, right? They're giving him booze.
No, he said money. Money. And then he bribed him with real Irish beer or whatever.
But the other place doesn't drink too.
Yeah, let him drink. Well, yeah, they just don't let him
Oh,
drink.
yeah.
But I guess Irish beer is good. I've never had it.
I think that was his first time.
that shit tastes good.
That's liquid crack.
It had to be good because he was a drunk.
He was slipping it.
It was a he was
like
a
a
drunk. So that must have really.
He was sipping it like old boy told him to do the girl with the ice cream cone. So.
I wrote here, white girl incoming. That was my note. But in between her incoming, Preacher Boy meets this girl named Perline, who's married, and he's flirting with her. But he's heard her sing. I'm not sure. What did he say? Where he heard her sing?
No, he just said she can sing.
Yeah.
I seen you before I know you. I seen you from somewhere.
Yeah.
And he said you can sing.
She said, "Be careful, boy. I'm married," or something. And then the white girl comes, and she's looking at over in their direction. And this is, let me just say, I've seen the whole thing, so I have a disdain in general. But she walked up and said to Sammy and said, "Excuse me, boy, is this smoke or is this stack?" When she called him boy, it pissed me the fuck off. Because at that time she didn't know who that was.
Yeah.
That could have been a grown ass man, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it was funny when they left Smoke. Smoke say, "This nigga don't know how to tell when people be staring at him, so I need you to watch his back."
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the girl was doing. She was staring at him. You had to go tell Stack, "Hey, there's a white girl over there staring at you."
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
no, I was saying, so she said, so when you put your tongue in my snooze, whatever.
That's his favorite part. Yeah.
And fucked the shit out of me and laid your head on my chest after you were done coming in me, or whatever she said.
Shoot, that didn't happen.
Whatever.
Lord, you just pornographed the whole scene.
Something like that. And then you just left. I thought he said something like, "I was done with you," or something like that. She was like, "Well, I'm confused when you put your tongue in my snooze," and then
Coos first. Oh my God, you were like obsessed with this scene. Okay, I can't wait to get out of this train station. Basically, they were a thing, and then he left her. That's it. He left her.
Were they a thing?
To her.
Yeah. So basically, her parents, her mother, I guess borderline, Sarah raised them, I guess, because their family was so dysfunctional. And it sounded like he started hitting today.
Yeah.
And like you say, she fell in love.
Yeah. And he left her, but he still took care of her.
He took care of her like family.
Even while they're gone.
And she was bitter because her mom had passed and they hadn't showed up for her mother's funeral or anything. But like his brother said, we sent your mama plenty of flowers when she was alive.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that's the most strange relationship because I think they were probably in the house together. He probably snuck in the room, or she probably snuck in his room, and they started doing what they was doing.
In her coos. We have to talk about her coos all the time because Cognac
because it makes sense later on.
Okay.
In the story.
Okay. I was being sarcastic, sir. Yeah.
Her snooze cruise.
You sound so ridiculous right now. You sound like more immature than Sammy knowing about sex.
But anyway, it seems like at this point that Stack was trying to do right by her. Look, I ain't no good for you.
Yeah.
Go on with your life, marry a rich white man that's gonna take care of you. Yeah, and get over me. But she wouldn't get over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, so she gets on a train, we think.
Yeah.
And they are driving to, I think they were trying to drive to the joint place, but they're driving through cotton fields.
They just want to get Big Boy.
See, I couldn't tell if they were going to get him or they just happened to run up on him.
No, he said we got one more place to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't know that.
Went to get Big Boy.
That was the one place. Yeah, shout out Cornbread.
Yeah.
For a little while. But that whole scene, I don't even really want to. I don't know. It's still black people picking cotton. Now it's a job. They're getting paid to do it now. And Delta is with them. Delta Slim, the harmonic player. And he starts telling a story about him and his friend Rice. And just watch the movie. I'm not even because I'll burst out crying. But it was one of the most powerful stories I've heard, and makes sense. I think it was true. But I did read that was a part of that was impromptu. Like when Preacher Boys started playing the music, at least when Stack said, "You got that guitar? Hit that guitar." That was impromptu, and they were not going to put that in. And they asked Ryan Coogler to do it, and he did it. One quote that I did like that he said in that story was, "White folks like the blues just fine. They just don't like the people that make it, who make it." And that hit me because ain't that the truth? Yeah, everybody knows I'm not even a Beyonce fan, but white people getting mad at her for singing country music is crazy to me because country music came from black people and it came from the blues. So you're welcome. Anyway, so they get to Cornbread, who I don't know his real name in real life, but he's in a lot of stuff. He was in, what's that show with The Rock? The sports show? Ballers.
And he was in 8 Mile.
Oh, yeah, 8 Mile, yeah.
He's been in a lot of movies.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He's very unique, so you just know him when you see him. But he was picking cotton with his wife, and Stack got disrespectful. And shout out to his wife. She was like, "Wait a minute, how much money is it?" Whatever. But they paid him to be the security guard for the juke joint. He's a big, tall guy. Big, tall, broad guy. Any adding from the cotton field scene? I know there was no.
Well, the funny thing about the cotton field thing, Cornbread wasn't gonna go with him because he say, "I'm not gonna get a part in one of your schemes." And then Stack was real flippant, with his mouth and said some fly shit, and he's like, "That's my wife right there." again, and he's like, well, nigga, fuck you, man. Fuck your wife.
Yeah.
and then it's like, then
He said he might be able to fuck. He won't say you be the woman.
then he was like, well, we working. He say, well, once she see how much money you gonna make with me, you can do this and do that with your wife. And he said, man, you better stop disrespecting my wife or whatever. Then his wife was like,
he's keeping it PG. He said the same thing about saying, it's like you just want to talk about peppers and
yeah, you can
cheeses all
say.
night.
Yeah. Then his wife was like, how much money you gonna pay? You might want to go with him.
Yeah.
go
off he went.
Yeah, go get that money. So he went and got that bread.
Yeah.
That was funny. Fuck you and fuck your wife.
That's something. He was about to beat his ass until his wife was like, no, wait a minute. How much money? And then we get back to Smoke, and he is visiting. We don't know what it is. He's got the flowers, and he's putting flowers on a grave, and he says Pop was here, basically. And that's where Miss Annie, my hero, comes in, I think. And that was, I guess, his baby mama, or love. And I like that she's not your typical,
Dixon, diva, pretty.
Yeah. She was
Just
just
real
like,
homely.
yeah, just regular,
Mississippi.
runs her own little business. They don't even use, they just use the money that they use between the people there. She's, I guess you would call her a voodoo. That's whatever, which I think she was just a holy person.
She was a Dr. Sebi.
Okay, yeah, yes. Are you awake?
She was a doctor.
Okay. Well,
She sold herbs and
yeah.
roots and concoctions.
Yeah.
Every town had one.
Yeah.
Miss Rudolph. If you listen to Richard Pryor, Miss Rudolph was from Tooele, Mississippi. Huh?
I don't know that reference.
Yeah, shit. And Richard Pryor, homeboy, had messed with the wrong lady, and his foot swelled up like the size of an elephant. And he got to go see Miss Rudolph to get his foot fixed. And Miss Rudolph had the monkey piss in the barrel.
But did it work?
He had little monkey feet.
God.
Richard Pryor was a fool.
It's no different than the voodoo tour.
Yeah.
Put your ministering blood in the man spaghetti. He
Oh
won't
my
eat.
God.
You put
Anyways, so,
Okay, well.
in my Harper voice, he comes in and he basically wants Miss Annie, that's what the little kids called her, to cook. She's one of the best cooks that they know, to come cook some of her fried fish and stuff for the juke joint that night. And she asked him about Chicago. He said something. She goes, "Is Chicago done with y'all?" That was her quote. Because she knew that shit didn't make no sense. But they were talking about this and that, and she said, she basically said, "How do you know I didn't keep you and your brother safe? All the prayers and the things that she does." And he said, "Well, why did they work for our baby?" And she goes, "I don't know. They worked for you." And he still wears the bag that she's concocted and prayed over on his neck. So, and then she called him by his government name, Elijah, and then they get it on. And she says, "Your body ain't forgot me," in Yoruba, African language. But they thank you for the captioning, because that was a pretty hot quote that I wouldn't have been able to translate. And then we get to juke joint night.
And she did something else to
Yeah.
the bag.
To the bag, yeah.
She asked for the root bag, and
Yeah.
refreshed it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. And then we get to Jude Straight Night. Which I think we should save.
Yeah, because you going through the whole
No.
scene by scene.
Well, because it's important. It's my Black history. We'll save it for another, because that's a whole nother thing. Yeah. But thanks, you guys, for obliging me.
Yeah, because I probably won't watch that movie again, but it was a good movie. Yeah.
Well, we're still going to talk about Juke Chuck tonight, so I hope you remember it from the first time.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'm decoding that movie. I don't need to watch it again. I remember the things that I need to remember.
Okay. Well, on our next What's Poppin' on the Screen.
It wasn't a scary movie. I mean,
no, it wasn't scary.
Yeah,
It wasn't more gory than anything else.
just the symbolism and the story that they was telling. I don't fuck with that shit at all.
Okay, well, maybe we won't finish the Juke Chuck tonight. Maybe I'll just do my own vlog about the Juke Chuck or something.
I wouldn't finish it though. I'm just saying why I won't. There's no need for me to watch it again. He did a great job.
Yeah.
I can tell that he really did his due diligence and research and stuff. You know, because sometimes they make those type of movies and there be a lot of loose ends. He didn't leave any really loose ends to the spiritual stuff in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's loose ends to the story, you know, but
Yeah, with that loosey-goosey.
yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. But anywho, another thing, did you guys see that Samuel L. Jackson's going to be the Mississippi or New Orleans king for, like they have Tulsa King.
Oh, what? That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
I forgot to send. I sent it to my dad earlier.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
To get my lashes, but let me see what it's called.
Say what again?
No,
Say what one more.
Yeah, he's gonna be the Nolia King with the guy who what's his name? Sheridan. No. Taylor Sheridan, who does Yellowstone and Landman,
Really?
all those 1823, all those. Yeah, so I'm fucking pumped for that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be really good.
There's some alligators in this motherfucking swamp.
Anyways, they're working on that, so
That's pretty cool.
we can discuss that when that comes out.
2 years.
Yeah, probably. If they just announced it.
That Yellowstone dude take his time.
And rightfully so. I haven't not liked anything he's put out. I'm just saying, you know. So I hope he's not a terrible person in real life, but his body of work is top notch and super inclusive from what I can see. So anywho, can we get to our next segment?
Now we're gonna get into our third segment of the evening, where we tell you 3,000 things about us using this magnificent book, that magnificent book titled 3,000 Questions About Me. Me being Tequila, him being Cognac, she being the girl. This evening's on the girl. So you're gonna open the book, randomly select the question, and we gonna try to answer it.
890. What is your favorite way to spend a Sunday? Cognac, why don't you go first? What's your favorite way to spend a Sunday?
Man. Sleeping.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Just sleeping. Unless I have something I have to do, sleeping. Other than that, there would be going yonder with
Sleeping is what he likes to do. on
well,
Sunday.
no, but I get up to do activities.
Yeah,
Used to.
you have to force you to do it.
No, it's not.
Well,
It's not a force.
Something's always ailing on Sunday. What about you?
I do a little bit of sleep, a little bit of household chores. Basically, I unwind and get ready for the week on Sundays. I don't like to leave and be active. I like to unwind, decompress, think about my week, ask for forgiveness if I've done anything, and get right mentally and spiritually and prepare myself for the week ahead.
And you post our awesome episodes. Thank you for that. For doing that.
That's therapy. Yeah. Part of my therapy routine, the editing and posting the pod. And right now, I do this every day. My son was a rapper, and I'm putting together an album for him. So every day I'll take some of his music, clean it up, and add it to this list. Then I'm gonna give it to a professional producer and get it cleaned up a little better than what I know how. Put a posthumous album out for my boy.
K40 album coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
God bless.
White hat skis.
Is there going to be any that I can twerk to? I'm just kidding. You know, I would never. Carlos would never see me twerking to any of his songs.
I haven't came across none of those songs yet.
I'll jam it, but I ain't.
He do be talking about knocking off another nigga girl and stuff like
gosh.
that.
Oh my lord.
He be on that street stuff. So.
I like street stuff. I don't do it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's something the music I listen to. I'm like, I would never do any of these things, but I know it with the chest.
He didn't either. He's a one.
I know.
He was a one-man woman. A one-woman. He was real faithful to whoever he was in a relationship with.
Girl.
Just
one man,
just
one girl man.
Yeah, just the music. Just the music. But no.
My favorite way to spend a Sunday is I would have to answer this later. Usually my Sunday consists of Harper. So with her being gone, like sometimes we'd go get our meals done. Sometimes I sleep in. Sometimes I go hang out with my friend or friends before she gets over. But I definitely do chores every Sunday. So I don't know what my favorite way. My favorite way is Harper on Sundays. So we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out this summer. Maybe I'll just get back to brunching. You know. Brunching and not going to go pick up other people's children at other people's houses and threatening to call the cops on them. That kind of brunch, you know, because I'm more mature than that.
Well, you know who you are. See you next Thursday, girl. So,
that's me. Anywho, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll be back next week, as far as you're concerned. And we love you so much. And keep liking, subscribing, and telling your friends. Mwah. Bye.
love you. Bye.
You ain't got no lawn. You are such.
That's it for this week's episode of Cognac, Tequila, and the Girl. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. As always, we'd love to hear your feedback. Follow us on all the social medias. Leave your comments and reviews. Until next week, keep safe and keep your squad close. Thanks for hanging out.